Hey guys, I just made myself some chicken noodle soup, so I will be joining you. I just gotta wait for it to cool down. So for today, I want to actually share some important factors. For those of you who have been watching me for quite some time, you would know that I'm all about being genuine and authentic. I'm all about sharing the message that it's very important to feel good, be good, and to do good. To always make things, I just wanted to beautify things there. To always make your life more peaceful, and if you realize and see that when people are creating problems in your life, for the sake to create problems, you got to cut those situations. You got to cut those situations and people out of your life, okay? It's not good to be around people. Just observe. Pay attention that when you're in this place of wanting to be better, to be in a mental peace for yourself, to even have peace in your home, your life itself, when you see people doing things and you really pay attention, you'll notice that there are people out there that they don't like peace. They want to create chaos where there's peace. You got to, people that are friends, associates, co-workers, staff members, family members, those people have got to be cut out of your life, because if people are intentionally trying to make your life hard, those are not people who support you. Those are not people who believe in you. Those are not people who thoroughly love you. It's considered a state of abuse. These are gaslighters. These are narcissists. These are egoists. They need to be removed out of your life. Okay, so with that being said, today's April the 15th. It's considered springtime, obviously. That's why I wanted to have a little bit of the spring vibe over here. I will light some incense. I've got some sandalwood made in India that I'll be lighting. I don't have my matches here. Anyways, today I want to discuss something that was just coming up, and it's probably because they're talking about me, and this can probably play an important role or a factor in your life, because these things do happen in a sense where there can always be that one or two family members who really has that ill will or is connected to your family, if not by blood, because if they are blood or not blood, everyone's situation can be different. But I was remembering peaceful energy. I was remembering that lady that I had met, at the gynecologist office, and who I went to go see her place. And she was telling me how her mother-in-law, her ex-husband's mother, professionally goes to pay to have harm done to her, black magic. And how she said that she even threatened me. She said, if you don't do this or don't do that, I will keep doing this harm to you. I've got a piece of sage here. I will keep causing you this harm. And I kind of remembered how my uncle that passed away, his ex-wife or wife, widowed wife, who's now with someone else, who has a home in Yerevan, Armenia, and a daughter that lives in Spain, who got a nose job just so that she could feel more beautiful. And they were very evil to me growing up. I remember the wife, she's Turkish Armenian. Her mother is actually partially Greek. I would sometimes stay there when I was little, and I wouldn't bathe because nobody would let me kind of have access to bathe, right? And I remember we went to one of her friend's house, and her friend said, tell her to go take a shower. I was a little girl, I was probably 6 or 7. Because it's obvious you haven't showered. And then when I went up to shower, I can hear, while I was removing my clothes to shower, her saying to her telling this lady who's a complete stranger to me, and I can hear her say, oh, she's, my husband's sister's daughter, niece. And she said, why aren't you bathing her? And she's like, ew, that's disgusting. She's not my daughter. She goes, okay, why aren't you taking her underwear and her clothing and like washing it? How long has she been staying at your house? She's like, a week or two. She's like, aren't you doing your daughter's laundry? She's like, ew, that's disgusting. I wouldn't touch her her dirty underwear. And the lady was like, I can hear her from I'm upstairs, they're downstairs, go, she's a child. Like, what is wrong with you? She's just a child. And I never forgot that. And then I remember when I was like 14, I always had to walk to high school, and her daughter got me into trouble legally because she was stealing makeup and she was shoving it in my purse. And then all of a sudden she stopped wearing makeup to make it look like I was stealing, but she was, And like all my life, like they just were like really doing evil things, like her and her daughter to me, It was like, okay, I understand it's not your responsibility to raise me because my mom and my life circumstances where my family were never around. So I was pretty much neglected and abandoned by every uncle and aunt and cousin growing up because apparently they're all close, but they weren't, you know what I mean? And so I always had to walk to school every day. And sometimes I would call her and be like, if you're in the area, because she was an at-home mother, she never really worked outside or whatever. I'd say, is there a way you can come? And she would just be like, stop calling me or whatever and all this stuff. And I was like, okay. So then all of a sudden her daughter disappeared. And then years later, she's telling people how I'm a thief and this and all this bullshit, right? All this bullshit. And making fun of me that I'm lying, that I got raped and everything. Okay, listen to this. So if you know anything about Varouj Hotoyan, and at that time his wife Marinet, who calls herself Mariam now all of a sudden, and her daughter Maral, they love this. They're not into spirituality. They're not into repercussions or being aware of a karma or anything of that. They're just very money-oriented people, okay? Money for them, very egotistical, all of them. Varouj is dead now, but all of them, very egotistical. So this woman, Marinet, for many years since I was really young, she's been doing black magic spells on me. So she would do on my hands, transfer her emotional state and her karma into me, for me to clean her karma so that she could take away all my spiritual gifts and good karma and pass it to her daughter and to her. Okay? How I know this? How I know this is because I would feel it all the time. I would see what would happen, the bad things that would happen. They would disappear every single time these bad things would happen. And I'm talking about from weeks to months to years. Okay? And then they would always be traveling, or good things would be happening to them right after. And then people confirmed and told us she's into this stuff. Mother, daughter, they're into that stuff of doing like dark shit. And she would even tell people like, no one can fuck with me. This is about money. No one can fuck with me because I have ways to put them in their place or find ways or whatever, right? And then I remember she would always try to smooth talk me and say, oh, we're so similar. Listen, I don't get a kick out of hurting people. I never touch children. It doesn't make me feel good to hurt people. My thing is to never hurt people. She had a history with my mother and my uncles because they used to fight in the past because she was a thief. They caught her. They knew she was a thief. Okay, whatever. It's not my thing. I don't care. She obviously does because it affected her. But at the end of the day, she married her, the family member. And so her revenge was to seek out revenge towards me. Because that's just what she wanted towards my mother. She didn't like my mother. She would always say, Maral, her daughter is like my mom. Which they are. They're very similar. Personality is personality. But her thing was to always harm me and be really fake to me in my face, but I always knew she was being fake. Now, when my mom's friend tried to touch me, she knew very well about it and she didn't do fucking anything or say sorry, nothing, okay? And all because, moral of the story, these people were never there for me when I was a little girl, when I'm basically being abused. I'm always alone. I don't have money to eat. I don't have parents to drive me to school or I had to walk all the time. I come home, there's no food. I have no way to feed myself. I'm doing poorly in school because my brain is not functioning because I'm not eating breakfast or anything. And you neglected and abandoned me as a cousin, as an aunt, as an uncle. Okay, right? So there's going to be repercussions to that. Because I'm a child at the end of the day at that time, right? Or maybe you had issues with my mom, and because you had issues with my parents, you didn't want to deal with these things. Okay. Yet she was very friend-oriented and whatever. So after that, years later, I just started distancing myself too. I wouldn't show up to any events, family events. I noticed Muddle's trying to be friends with all the friends I had. You know what I mean? Which I thought was fucking weird. I just feel like these things truly need to be discussed to the world and exposed, because when you expose and vocally speak about something and it's publicly out, it breaks a pattern that someone thinks they're getting away with, which is abuse. Okay? Sending out energy like that. Someone who practices in this stuff is fully aware and should be fully aware, if they're mature in this work, that which you send out returns to you. So if you're causing harm to a young girl, at that time or now, if you're sending out harm to anyone, you're going to get it back. So, okay, my dad died, and Muddle and whatever, they come with my mom's old best friend, which, you know, they all like, I don't know, betrayed each other because Mama talks shit a lot, okay? Whether it's true or not, she just talks shit. She'll take something, extend it, and turn it into something else. Kharnagich, you want to call it. Someone who just messes things up. A chaos creator. So when I was really young and our aunts and uncles would come from like France or other places in the world, my two cousins, Natalie and Muddle, Natalie's a year older than me, Muddle is my age, they would just gang up on me and pick on me for no reason because they're insecure, jealous, hatred little girls that still act the same way now. They still talk to each other about me. They still talk shit about me. Natalie has always been into drugs. She's very fake with the, I love you, you're my cousin for life. No actions, never shows up, never does any good deeds except talk shit. And Muddle, very egotistical, money-oriented. She'll drop you in 2 seconds and only be friends with you because you're benefiting her. They've always been jealous of me. They've always caused me problems. And they've always believed or thought I never noticed it. There are 2 bullies that were born in this world. There are 2 bullies that will be dying in this world one day. So when my dad died, Muddle shows up at our house and she's just like, ew, at everyone and everything. We haven't seen you in 10 years. You've been living abroad in Europe. Why are you here? You don't want to be here. Don't come. No one is forcing you to be here. I haven't seen her 10, 15 years at that point. Not even a tell her I'm so sorry, nothing. Okay? Why? Because I didn't show up to her father's funeral. Why would I show up to your father's funeral if for the past 10, 15 years of your life you have bullied me, abandoned me, rejected me? And I was going through my own breakup of engagement at that time. I was going through my own abuses with police officers being in the middle of it, where my ribs were being punched, where I was being thrown off a highway. And I know you're all still sitting there and watching all my videos, even though I haven't seen you in 20 fucking years, but you guys still talk about me. So your little ego got bruised because I said I'm not going to be there when your mother dies. I'm not going to be there when your mother dies. I wasn't there when your father died. Hell, I'm not going to be there in Canada when my own mother dies. These are fucking facts. These are fucking facts. That hurts your feelings because I said your mother, when she dies, I'm not going to be there. That hurts your feelings. And then you go telling everyone that I'm this, and that, and this, and that. I'm happy for you, okay? I'm happy for you that you feel the need to make shit up about me and to still watch me because obviously you feel my point is, I'm making this heard because if I ever do see any of you in the streets of Yerevan, whether it's you, Manit, or your daughter, Maral, I want nothing to do with you. Don't look at me. Don't try to talk to me. Nothing. Okay? And in 2019, when you guys all found out I'm here living in Gyumri and I'm part of all these organizations, Natalie contacts me telling me, oh, it affected Maral that I didn't show up because apparently my mother said Maral and Manit are going to be in Yerevan. I was volunteering in Gyumri. How the fuck am I going to be in Yerevan when I'm 5 days, 6 days a week working here? Number two, I don't have time to eat into shit at that time. So apparently you're calling me. You can leave me a text message. I didn't even have the time to see my uncle Harach, and he left me a text message. That's why I talked to him. But the moral of the story is Natalie contacts me just to tell me it affected Maral so much that I didn't respond to a call, that she didn't even call me. And I said, if she cared. Well, I thought this was recording. So then I find out she's telling Natalie, oh, Talad wanted my mom dead. Obviously, she wouldn't want to show up. Why aren't you calling me directly then, huh, Maral? If you're so true, if you care so much, why aren't you messaging me directly? If you wanted to see me so fucking bad. Except you're talking behind my back to another dimwit abuser of a cousin who's fake. Oh, Talad, your father died too, Natalie. Did you show up once to any of our fucking family gatherings at our house? Did you ever come to comfort me once? I slept at your sister's house once for the weekend. Where were you? Do you want me to talk now? So, you know, it's amazing because it's just amazing because I just want to say people will always reveal their true character to you. And that's the message today, where it doesn't matter where you are financially. If internally you're a fucking asshole who hasn't gotten anywhere in life, you have no character, you do not actually, you know, I want nothing to do with you. To me, you're zero minus. And they say blood is thicker than water. Yeah, well, you know what? If there's disease in the blood, water is a lot more healthier than that blood. And you've never shown me that you've been my blood. And I have every fucking damn right to stay the hell away from all of you because you're all egotistical, narcissistic assholes. So I'm going to pull out a card. And look at that. It comes up again. How fascinating. The theme is the same. We honestly cannot fake this. The theme is the same from yesterday's reading. Okay? These are some of the cards that I pulled out. These are the themes. If you resonate, let me know. This is all about being more connected so that you know what's around you, what's happening around you. As this is, because I feel like they're talking about me. And hence this could be a collective issue right now where someone or your situation, the family or friends or people you've disconnected from, detached from, left. This is the death. This is the death of my connection to all of those family members who are fake. You are all fake. You don't better yourself. You don't work on yourself. And I will not tolerate people in my personal life that will not work on themselves. I've made peace. I've made peace with all the abandonment, neglect, abuses I grew up in from every family member. I made peace with myself. This is all Kali symbols, okay? I've made so much peace, and I am not going to tolerate anybody coming into my life, whether they're strangers who come across as friends, people who want to say that they love me and support me and accept me. And this message should be coming out to you as well, where people are claiming they care about you, whether they're family and friends, and they're only there to create chaos and cause problems in your life. Get rid of those people. Those are not true people. They're parasites. They're disgusting. And I'm so ashamed to say I grew up with people who caused these things. And I remember her saying to me, I don't believe you, tell her that you got raped. Maral telling me, oh, I don't believe you, tell her you got raped. Yet then crying to me that I should be running to her when her father was dying, or that she wants me to help her. No. Look at this. This is the last card. Isn't it exactly the same? Look at that. This is Moksha of Kali. This is liberation. You see how I create my magic? It's all around us, okay? Create your daily magic with love and peace and serenity. Incense, flowers, plants, creativity, healing, passion through healing. The main message of this, the end of this month, is feel out what you're feeling. You know, I'm getting vision of these people talking about me, thinking about me, doing whatever the fuck they're trying to do. You're not going to win. You're not going to succeed. You never have. Okay? I want to wish everyone a good, joyous rest of the weekend. Take care.